Hey, Zombroz fans, we're also twisted back here for yet another wonderful week of Zombroz action. I'm joined by, once again, my co-host with the most, whatever adjective you want to put in this week, Johnny J25. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing real good. It's good Sunday morning for me.
Nice.
Ran a 5K today for
Oh.
Penn State's dance marathon.
Oh.
So that was nice. That was fun.
Oh my goodness. All right. And we're also joined by a nice special guest today, Andy, who created the Kowloon custom zombie map.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm glad to be here.
A map that's been making waves across the community.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have been playing it.
Yeah, they have.
Now, John, I know we wanted to do announcements first before we dive deep into all the background on this Kowloon map and how Andy developed and made the map and all the stories behind the scenes. So let's get those announcements right out of the way to start the podcast.
Yeah, so we got the Zombroz pint glasses. They're here.
They are.
Reed sent me a picture of them the other day, and it looked awful.
Oh, no.
Because it was
Whoops. Sorry.
What happened?
I had the cameras in the wrong place because I was tweeting out everything. So the show didn't start with the cameras right.
He sent me a picture of them the other day, and it looked awful because for whatever reason, when he texted it, it like compressed the image. So he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "I can't really see anything, but it looks pretty good on Discord."
I'm going to look on my settings because I have another friend of mine that is on Android that always gets everything compressed to shit. So I wonder if I enable a feature that compresses it to Android devices when I send them to Android.
Well, no, Android does that. And like back when I had an Android phone, Android just does that.
Does it?
Sending media over SMS is really bad. It compresses it. But it should have just came normally. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm going to look in to see if I have some setting ticked where I don't want data or something being sent. So that's worrisome on me.
Also, shout out to whoever on the show last week told me that one of the perk icons was like off with the rest of them. So then I was able to go back in and Photoshop and fix it before I had put the order in.
That's good.
That was a clutch save. They should all be lined up now. Do they look lined up, Reed? Don't. Absolutely, they are lined up. No, they should be. We realized we ran into an issue with shipping these.
Yeah.
Last time we had gone through the specific printing service to do the mugs, they all came individually packaged.
They came with boxes. They did not come individually packaged. No, I packaged them all.
Oh, well, way to go, Reed. These ones don't come with boxes. So this is going to delay us a little bit, but I did some research and I found a solution. So hopefully we should get these out relatively soon, but there will be a minor delay just because I thought these were going to come with boxes, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
What's the review, Reed? Have you used one?
I have not used it yet because I'm kind of the guy that wants to get everything out before I have a chance to enjoy any of them myself. I don't like to be the person that just like, oh yes, I'll take mine first while everybody else has to wait. So that's my philosophy with a lot of my merchandise, which fills into my announcements really well too. Transitions.
All right, well, that's the Patreon announcements. What else did you have?
Shipping updates. So I ordered shippers for all the flat posters. So if you ordered a Cover My Wall bundle, a perk bundle, I've had a few messages now where people got their Ether or Chaos posters or combo packs, and then they go, hey, where's my perk posters? I can't send them because I don't have anything to send them in. I ordered them on October 2nd, and they told me the latest they could come in was October 10th. It's October 13th. I've contacted the seller and Amazon. Hopefully, I'll get the shippers as soon as possible. If not, it's going to be further delayed until I have a way to ship it to you because I literally have no way of sending these posters to you if I don't have the shippers. So that should put your mind to rest at the very least that they're coming as soon as I can get the stuff to send them out. Next is I'm waiting on an Ether restock for October 14th. It is expected delivery. I have 115 orders left, so I have finished, I believe, somewhere between 75 and 85% of all the orders have been sent out. I'm on the home stretch with 115 orders left. It's funny how that sort of ended up at 115 just when I ran out of all my shippers and posters. So nice nod to zombies there. And I hope to get all shipping done before I move on to anything else, like making videos I want to make sure that everything gets shipped before I move on to any other projects or doing anything else. So this is the big holdup. And the pre-order deadline was October 14th. That's when they started shipping when you pre-ordered this stuff. So we're still ahead of the schedule, but I do think I'm going to fall behind because on the last day of pre-orders, John, I got over 100 orders. On the last day.
That's a lot. It's a good problem to have, I guess.
It is. It's always a good problem to have. But then it's like, oh, great. Now we're out of stock on everything that I projected, even the extra I projected. So, joy.
They use coupon code JJ25 on the last day.
Yeah. Yes, they did. That's why you got a nice little bump there at the end, too. So that should wrap up all of my shipping notes and every announcement I have for the time being. So let's get into the meat of this. Let's talk to Andy about his map, Kowloon.
Yeah, so it's got to be, I'd say, a big relief to finally have Kowloon off your shoulders.
Oh yeah, big relief. God, I've needed a break for so long. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, come on, one more day, just one more hour, put the work into this, and I can finally relax. And the ending ended up not being that because I had to do a bunch of bug fixes. So I was like, well, I got another week of bug fixes ahead of me.
Yeah, well, when you released the map, I remember I got like 6 or 7 different versions from you, and they just kept coming.
Yeah, because
here's a fix. You were on top of that. You were like with this fly swatter swatting every bug.
yeah, pretty much. Everyone was making jokes while you're on more top of it than Treyarch, but yeah, my community would
You really
people.
are.
Yeah, people constantly DMing me different videos of like pile up spots or strafe jump spots I couldn't even imagine how someone actually could get there. Someone was so perplexed. It's like, how on earth did you get to there? I was like, oh, I don't have to clip that off. Someone's not going to be able to jump to there, and they did it. I was like, wow, just wow.
I'm surprised people were that dedicated to like trying to find ways to break the map, or I guess they're doing it accidentally, right?
Actually, no. Some people purposely went out and bug hunted for me. It was like, wow,
oh, that's
well, thank you.
cool. Yeah.
I had a bunch, at least like 6 or 7 people dedicated to doing that, and I highly appreciate what they did for me.
That's awesome. Like when I was thinking about it, like when I play a custom map, you know, I'm just trying to like experience it. I'm not really out here like, oh, where's the pile up spots? So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool that people do that.
Yeah.
Why don't you though introduce yourself, like for people who don't know? So like, so where can like people find you? And you've been making maps like for a while now. So why don't you kind of just give a little
Sure.
you are?
So I'm gonna truth or Andy, if you know me by Andy, but I've been making custom zombies maps for about 6 years now. I started on Call of Duty 4, but I didn't really make anything back then, and I never actually released a World at War map. I never had the time or dedication to finish. But you can find my stuff on my Twitter, which I'm sure you plugged in the bottom, or I have a Discord server with about over 1,000 people in there now. And I usually will post my work on one of those like UGX or ModMe or something sooner or later. But I just want to pan out all the bugs and make sure it's the best possible before I release it publicly everywhere.
That's a really good idea. Good on you.
Yep. So it's my Discord, I can get direct feedback right away, which has been helpful because I had a whole channel dedicated to bugs on this map where I had people send videos and other things just so I can get and would basically just like close down on the bugs right away so I can fix them as soon as possible.
Well, in my first experience playing through this map, I was so tempted to constantly jump off ledges and see if I could die. My first experience, I loaded in and I was looking, I'm like, oh, dude, we're totally going to have to jump off over there. And I went to the edge of the starting room and then I'm like, can you die? I have quick revive. So I go off the ledge, I instantly die. And I'm like, this is why John likes this map. 100%. It's just die rise. I was instantly annoyed.
Everyone calls it die rise 2.0. So it's funny.
Yeah.
The good die rise, people say.
Did you do what I did at the beginning of the map where you so you have like the ledge by the couch.
Yeah.
And to the left of the couch is another pathway that looks awfully tempting.
Yep.
And I think it's actually part of the zip line if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the zip line platform.
But so my first attempt, I had actually made a jump where I had gone from that ledge onto what is the zip line platform. And then I'm like, oh, you can't make that jump. I'm an idiot.
No.
Like, did you include that to troll people? Was that a troll?
Maybe. Originally, you could actually, like day one release in the map, you could actually strafe around to get onto that platform. But then I changed it up so where the clip for the door to the zip line was all the way over there too. So you physically couldn't get on there. So once you buy that door, it would allow you could actually drop on there if you went back to spawn or vice versa. So I changed that around because people were strafe glitching onto there and because you could technically there's only 2 zombie spawners down there, so
Mhm.
that's actually a high round strategy for some people down there, since you only have to worry about there's a spawner by the teleporter and there's a spawner by the MP40. So you could sit there as a thunder gun or the Nova Gat and just train and just shoot. Because I've seen videos of guys who gotten the 163 on the map they sent me, and them just training there.
Oh my
Are people really pulling
gosh.
that high in a map?
My map's
Wow.
on Zombie World Records now for leaderboards.
Awesome!
I
Congrats!
did see that you made it on the Zombie World Records, which
That's
I thought was
terrific.
For EE speed runs, high rounds, etc. So
I like that they have custom maps now on Zombie World Records.
That is nice.
What maps do they have? I'm actually oh wow, they have like
I saw Leviathan and a couple other good ones on there.
Sounds about right.
That's cool. I like that. That gives more exposure to custom maps.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I think that's going to be the future of the community, as who knows what the dark future is with Treyarch at this point, but I see it very much like a Team Fortress 2 or one of those communities that just is consistent over time because of the dedication to the modding network, that people just keep it going. And Zombies isn't one that you can churn out as much. Like you talked about World at War, you just never got into that. There was a lot to World at War, and you were more into, actually, why didn't you go into World at War versus BO1 jumping on? Because in my mind, BO1 would be harder to script for than World at War, but is that not the case? I'm completely illiterate in this, so let me know.
See, for World at War, at the time I was back in like early high school. Actually, I started making maps in the end of middle school, and I actually have a fully complete map that actually I made a video on, just missing detail, but I kept getting these errors where I couldn't actually like compile the map. So it was so frustrating that I'd give up. World at War indirectly is easier because if you remember, these Black Ops mod tools are made by SC2 Dev. It's community made.
Yep.
So Black Ops 1 is actually, I was one of the first people that helped test on the tools. Same with the guys who created Parish. And I released Alptrauma, my first map, back in 2016. That was the first BO1 map. But I don't know, I got more into Black Ops because I have so many map ideas. I have a lot of them written down and drawn out, designed, laid out, everything. I just don't have the time anymore to do it. I'm in college and I work 2 jobs, so I'm sitting here trying to do this for my free time, basically, for fun.
Well, that's awesome that you do it for your free time for fun, but does that give you like an appreciation for how like Treyarch churns out their maps, or like an understanding for like the teams they have to have?
Yeah, after this experience with making Kowloon, I've grown such appreciation for the guys at Treyarch and everything they do. I mean, I know they have a team, and I basically was a one-man team with help from numerous other people who helped me scripted and doing other things, but you don't seem to realize how many aspects actually go into the map. Someone like, oh, I need to put an Easter egg. Oh, I need to put an Easter egg song. Well, now I need, what features do I want? Do I want traps, turrets? What type of trap or what type of turret do I want, etc. There's so many things that go into this. You have no idea. It's like, wow, I don't know what I got myself into at times. I sit there, but here I am.
And now
do you ever find that?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you ever find Treyarch like influences your mapping decisions? Like when you're laying out the map, do you think to yourself like, oh, this is something that Treyarch would do, or do you try to go away from Treyarch? How does that work?
For me, I try to look into, well, how would Treyarch lay this out? How would they design this room? The aspects of going into it. This one, of course, was a remake of something they already did. So, but when I designed this map originally, I had a lot more rooms into it, but time factor came into play. But basically, I'm like, well, where do I want this to start? Usually, well, in the map making, there's usually not really a conventional way to do it. I did it the backwards way. I was more worried about the features and everything. Usually you want to map it out first, block out, etc. So you have the layout of the map, but then you want to get into the rest of it. I did it backwards, and that wasn't good. But yeah, but I usually lesson learned, yeah. But I usually try to follow how Treyarch did it because they, well, at least most part, a lot of their maps flow very well. A couple of them, and I don't know about that, but a lot of them, like Ascension, Kino, they flowed. They had a really good circular design to them. So that was when I tried to incorporate into Kowloon, because I was like, well, how am I going to lay this out? A lot of it's like die rise, they use the elevators to get around, but I was like, I got to make like platforms and other things to get back around on the map so you can navigate it easily, or somewhat easily. But yeah.
I'd say you had a successful job, at least from the limited playthroughs I had through this map. I picked up really quickly on places I could train, places, and how it had that circle effect with the zip line and going just all the way around the map. It very much reminded me of a classic Treyarch Zombies map, and I very much enjoyed that. And there was multiple times while I was playing this map, I'm just like, oh, I remember Zombies. It hit me with a lot of nostalgia of like how the game used to play, especially the 2 hits. The gameplay people are seeing right now, I turned on God and no clip, so I also really appreciate whatever mod, if you did that, or if that's just the modding thing in general, that enabled me to do console. Okay, because sometimes I try and do custom maps, I try to look into custom maps, and then you can't do console. It's like, oh, cheats are disabled for this, and just like, I just want to showcase the map, please, please.
Exactly.
So this gameplay was an excellent example that I could also go test out those jumps. Earlier, I was just like, I think I can jump over there, and I turn on God mode, I go to run, I just hit a wall, I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. No, see, some areas in this map were obviously not playable because they're part of the campaign. So I had to use my own imagination and design them. And I changed a couple things around because, like, some things that Treyarch did back in 2010 were questionable mapping. I was like, oh, well, I don't know exactly why they did it like this, so I'm going to change it to this way, or I'm going to expand the room bigger. Like the first room you jump in with the fridge, that room was beyond tiny in the campaign mission, since obviously you're only really there to push the fridge and grab something with Clark, then you move on through.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, I'm going to expand it, make it bigger. And then I was like, well, there's a models here. It's like, well, this is a perfect window location. So I would mark that down. I'd draw that on a piece of paper. Well, this is where I want to put a window. And I'm like, well, now how am I not? Originally, when I had the map during the beta testing, I had way too many risers. So I reduced that and put more windows into the map. So I was like, just to get a better flow, because if there's too many risers, like people who beta tested, they were complaining because they would run, they just get absolutely wrecked because zombies are coming out of the ground all over. You're just, because you know how those, you probably in those corridors, like I designed it so those are tight spaces. If you're gonna stay there, you're gonna get punished. You need to move out of those areas, go in the courtyard. That's what the jump down area is for the second zip line. Go in the courtyard, go in the multiplayer part of the map where it opens up. But there's also areas you can sit if that's not your type of play style. It's like by the tough brew perk. That's why originally there was a window there. The zombies still spawn up there where they jump down there, but in the multiplayer, that's where a ladder is. You can climb up. Originally, that was a window the zombies could hop. I was like, you know what? People are going to probably sit here, so let's remove that and give them that option.
I think it was by the AK-47U or possibly another location.
Yeah, by the 74.
Yeah, I saw. No, it might not have been there. It might have been pushing out toward, like, you know, where you can hop down from Speed Cola back down to like one of the main areas.
Yeah,
I was getting super yes, the bridge, Derice vibes there, like the catwalk, because I could see all the zombies running up the stairs, coming around, and I was camping. I'm just like, oh man, nostalgia's killing me right now. And then
that was my idea for that.
Oh,
just
perfect.
To have that Derice vibe.
Oh, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. Oh,
yes.
Dude, see, this was what I liked a lot in this map too, was like my curiosity was typically rewarded minus falling to my death, which was fine for trolling. But like the fridge, I'm like, okay, there was the Easter egg in the main campaign where you could get the thunder gun in there. I wonder if we could actually get behind it and do something, and then come to find out that eventually leads to Pack-a-Punch. I'm like, that's terrific. Those are great details.
Have you looked into the Easter egg?
No, that's what I was going to ask about. I didn't have enough time because I was having my own personal troubles with my installing of it all.
Yeah.
Hints, give me hints or something. I saw the numbers. I just know it had something to do with the numbers, and then that was interesting.
The numbers, yes, the whole mission. The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
I'll tell you. When I was doing the Easter egg, I not accidentally, but I activated like the find the numbers sequence of the Easter egg.
Yes.
In the middle of a round.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if you saw this, Reed, but when you do this,
everything goes red, right?
Red.
Yeah.
And then you can see the numbers glow on the wall, and there's a vignette around the screen. So it's very dark. I couldn't see for shit.
Don't worry. That's what everybody says.
And the way I was playing it too, I was kind of like slouched in my seat. So if you can imagine, I have my monitor right in front of me, and I'm sitting in my seat like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm blind now. Because like the angle, I'm like, I can't see shit. So then I'm like, all right, now I gotta actually sit up straight. And get out of here. And then I see the numbers on the wall, and I'm shooting them, and I'm like, oh, okay, well. I should probably go find more numbers, but maybe I'll wait and do this after the round. I also didn't know if that was gonna like just go away or if it was gonna stay like that until I hit all the numbers.
Yeah, there's a 90-second timer on that. You get 90 seconds to do it because I keep people saying, "Oh, it's 60 seconds." No, you get a minute and 30 seconds to do it. It's the near death vision file from when you're in last stand.
Oh yeah,
that's what the red is.
Oh, that's dope.
I think you made a good decision with the timing of it too, and this is actually where I really appreciated the flow of the map because I was once I had to. I'm not that good at zombies, believe it or not. I had to look up a guide for the Easter egg because I couldn't find the third number. It was the third number that was killing me. And the first two flowed really well into one another. And then once I found out where the third number was, I'm like, oh, I can just, while I'm on this path, jump down this one zip line. And then I'm right there by it. And I really appreciated how well that meshed together, where it didn't feel like I was running from one end of the map, then back to the other. Like I was very quickly able to make a logical path in my head of where to go. So I like that flow there.
See, I'm not much of an Easter egg guy, so I was like, I'm going to make this so I actually do it. The last Easter egg I ever did was buried. It's been so long. So I was like, I want to make it one conventional path where you can go up the stairs, run down, take a zip line. Or originally, I had made it so people had the difficulty if you can take the choice of the zip line or the fall down. Because when I first did the Easter egg myself, I fell off and I fell and hit the death. I fell off the side and I hit the death barrier. It was like, well, I was hoping to see more people do that, but people were smarter than me and actually took the zip lines.
I like
but that whole.
I love
but the whole Easter egg.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. The whole Easter egg was designed. You're not going to believe it. This whole Easter egg was designed in about 30 minutes between me and my scripter, X Sanchez. I had more ideas, but the time constraint and under his time constraint, I was like, we'll make something a little bit more simple. And it's still, a lot of people still enjoyed it because it gives that Black Ops 1 vibe of an Easter egg. It's nothing too difficult and it's nothing that is actually easy. So that's what.
Custom maps should have relatively easy Easter eggs.
Yeah, I agree.
Ish. Like I think if you're making a custom map, you shouldn't go all out and make an Easter egg as big as something that Treyarch would make. Now that's not to encourage people from being creative and doing amazing things, but I think with a Treyarch map, people are more dedicated to hunting out these Easter eggs, and so people will stay up all night hunting for them. But I'm not sure you get the same level of dedication with a custom map where people will maybe play it once or twice, but they're not gonna stay up all night streaming to find the Easter egg. So I think it actually helps to make it a little bit more casual friendly.
See, some people they want that difficulty that Treyarch releases. They want that. It's like that's not for me. But a lot of people were wishing my Easter egg was longer. A lot of people wanted that. I was like, well, under time constraints, I didn't have really time to do that. And other things, it's like I want something that you can hop in and enjoy and play. Give off a Black Ops 1 like a DLC 5 vibe. That's what I was literally going for. And when a lot of people even complain like how I had these custom round sounds made. It's like it's not Black Ops 1, the purist. It's
that's one of the first things I liked about the damn map. The plane coming over the top. It was fun.
Yes.
The plane was
I was like,
yeah.
I kept it as pure as possible. Besides that, it's like my sound guy McBreeze, and I'm sure he's going to tune in sooner or later, but he did an awesome job on the game over sound, the round sounds. He even made some ambient sounds, and even the loading screen sound. He does phenomenal work, and I really appreciate the stuff he did for me.
I was getting some real Call of the Dead vibes with the music.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I agree too. That's what I was kind of going for a bit of that too. I was going based off I just love the ambient music from the campaign mission, so that's what the loading screen. It was a remake of that. It's like wow, it was just surreal.
Did Sandra make that?
So, yes, the guy who drew your posters, Johnny drew. He drew my loading screen because that's how I met him through seeing your work. I was like, oh, who is this guy? I gotta get him to draw my loading screen.
Oh, that's awesome.
He did it.
He's great.
So he drew it. Yeah. I really appreciate that he drew that for me. It turned out amazing.
Yeah, shout out to Sandro Sullivan. He's the guy who did like my poster pack, and he did the art for this. Check him out, guys. He does some really good art.
Absolutely.
Yes. Awesome.
Oh man. That's it's so cool to hear the back end and your decision making process on this map too, and going in cold to the map. It's so fascinating to see all these things that you're going for that you absolutely are checking off the list. For those type of hardcore fans, I feel like you've also gotten a nice sample of like what Treyarch deals with, the people being wanting harder Easter eggs or something in different, like a purist. You experience the purists as well. Don't change the game. You experience the people that want the longer Easter eggs, and I'm sure you have a plethora uncomfortable about people pulling you in a bunch of directions. But there's something to be said about listening to all those, it never gets done, right? And you just made the decision to actually create something, get something out there and make, while it's so much easier to sit in an armchair and be like, hey, you know, you could have did this 10,000 ways better. It's like, yeah, but then it never gets done. And what you have is a finished product that you can be proud of, which I think you should most definitely be, of this Kowloon map. I like how it's also not just the campaign map ripped and then you threw zombies in. I mean, this is a true like remaster, redesign on the functionality of how this map flows, works, with the way that certain areas, like you said, were completely redesigned from the ground up or moved around and made for fun. And that's something I feel like Treyarch has maybe lost the vision of from time to time, because they focus on how can we make this challenging for them not to solve? How can we make the Easter egg hard? How can we make the replayability longer? Where your main focus, from what I am gathering from this conversation we're having, is it was more fun oriented, that you want to be able to have someone jump on, play the game, maybe run through the Easter egg, and just have a positive experience with your map. And that might be a simpler philosophy that many other mappers and Treyarch themselves might want to implement in their maps.
Exactly. See, when I personally, I missed the World at War and Black Ops 1 golden days. That's what I love. That's why I was like, I want to make a map for this game. I like BO3, and I'm not the biggest fan of BO4, but I also BO2 is pretty good. But I just love BO1 in general. It's like, I want to make a map that, just like the old days, you'd hop on your PlayStation, your Xbox, or your computer, you get in a call with your friends, and you can just play. You're not thinking about doing all these other things, or you're not complaining, oh, this is too tedious. It's like, oh, I have to do all these steps to turn on the power, when I can just walk over here and flip the power switch and it's on. That's what Black Ops 1 was so good at. And it's funny watching people go back and play, like you said, about the 2 hits and stuff. And they're like, wow, this map's so hard and stuff. It's like, when you remember when you started playing zombies, you figured, you over time playing the map, you learned the areas to go and not to go. Like, you don't sit in certain areas on like Ascension or Kino. You know that's just going to be a death trap if you went there. So that's what people to do for Kowloon too, is like, well, maybe I should go over here opposed to sitting over there. Like, the areas going to the power is probably where the skinniest and the tightest part of the map is. So
when
just
I play
like
this map, I pretty much always stay on the top roof for the first 3 to 4 rounds, build up a decent bank of points, and then once I'm there, I'll jump down and then move my way over to like Speed Cola, or I'll work my way over to the multiplayer section of the map.
Yeah. See, I originally had it where
I avoid those hallways though.
Yeah, exactly. I don't stand those hallways either. When I was baited, when I was making and testing, I was like, man, these people are just gonna get wrecked in these hallways. So I was like, I wanna make it so they don't want to stay in there. And everyone always complains, well, why didn't you make them wider? Why didn't you make them? I said, well, this is how it was in the campaign, and I will expand it a little bit on the width wise, but no, but yeah.
It's certainly, though, makes getting to Pack-a-Punch like a little bit more of a challenge. Like, I'll either go when I have a crawler or like when I have a moment to breathe, but like definitely no mid-round Pack-a-Punches, that's for sure. That ain't
no.
happening.
Yeah, I that's where originally I wanted the Pack-a-Punch to be. I had other ideas for locations, but I was like, I don't know. I think like this is a perfect, just the ode to the campaign Easter egg. So I was like, this is perfect location. But some things like that room when you jump down, if you bought enough to get, let's say, 1250, I made the decision: do you want to buy the Kypris or do you want to buy the door? Those came in the factors and play. That's why, like you said, you stayed in the spawn room for a couple rounds of save, just like how zombies used to be. You just don't buy it. Like, people are so used to now just buying the door runner right away. Oh, I'll just make more points to just keep buying through all the doors, then get my weapons.
Yes.
Black Ops 1 was the opposite. You really want to get your weapons first, then they buy the rest of the map.
100%. I immediately experienced that. It was a wonderful learning curve coming back to these. I was so rusty, and I was also going between controller and mouse and keyboard. I actually ditched the controller because I was having so much issue with the gamepad. I found myself more comfortable with keyboard and mouse for the first time in recent memory. But I was trying to buy doors and push my way into the next area. I didn't even see the wall buy when you make the long jump in by Pack-a-Punch in this area. I'm about to do it on screen. Here we go. Whee! awesome effect. But then I'm in this room, I have nothing. I'm so used to having my MOG or whatever starting class I have from World War II zombies or BO4 zombies. In here, oh no.
Yeah.
I was dead to rights inside this room. I had no shot and instantly got
I was
murdered
in there
for
with
it.
my M14 just like fighting for my life, and it was like, oh fuck, next game I'm waiting to come here.
Yep.
That leap of faith though gets me every time.
Love it.
Every time I do it, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I don't think I've ever not made it, but every time I'm like I'm cutting it real close.
See, originally in the campaign, the leap of faith is actually technically a little farther away, but they give you the slow-mo effects and everything. So I decided let's just move the building a little closer. So originally I actually had it pretty far away to the point where if you had an LMG or you weren't going to make the jump. So I was like, well, I gotta move this closer. So even with LMGs, you can barely make the jump. But don't worry, I missed the jump numerous times. I have a lot of funny videos between friends of ours where they would stand on the edge there, wait for me to jump down. So when I jump, I'd miss it and bounce off them and land in the death barrier. But yeah, no, the leap of faith was a good gameplay decision in my opinion.
Definitely.
It sets the tone very early on. And it also, like, if you're like me and Reed on our first couple playthroughs, just go gung ho into it. Like making that leap of faith right there is very gung ho, and then you get to the bottom and you're like, oh shit, I'm punished for this.
Yeah.
Did you know when you first started making the map that was going to be like one of the opening moments of the map, or is that something you had kind of came to as you had developed it?
The minute I started making the map, I was like, I have to have this leap of faith in there. It's just like I was like, this is perfect. Like the starting area is almost like secluded from the rest. Like you start up there. What's the other purpose in going up there besides getting quick revive and stuff?
Yeah.
I was like, I want to make it so you jump down. When you jump down, you're in like the whole other part of the map, and then the spawn room's kind of like its own thing almost. It's hard to describe how I thought about this.
This is something I only really felt like as I was learning the map, but when I would lose quick revive early on and I was still exploring and discovering everything on the map, I'm like, oh fuck, how do I get back to that roof?
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Where is quick revive now? And eventually I found the zip line and the teleporter to get back up. But those first few downs, I'm like, this is hopefully it's not my only quick revive.
Yeah. See, I thought about, like, on the mission you go up that ladder. I was like, well, do I put stairs and make it go back up that way, or should I just put a teleporter? That was another gameplay decision. It's like, I know I already have a ladder in the map, but that causes some issues I'm still actually have to fix because I have one more patch coming out for this map with a bunch of fixes. But that ladder for that would cause some issues. I was like, the 5 teleporter would be perfect. That was if I had one gameplay decision change, I'd actually have more teleporters around the map to take you to different locations just for quicker access, opposed to having to run everywhere. That'd be the one thing I'd change if I went back and really redid everything. But I'm happy with what I have now. So
yeah, I was one of the questions I was curious about, and you went ahead and answered it, was how you felt about the transportation on your map. Because when I was playing through it, I did get that feeling like there could be little things to make it faster. I'm such a stickler for how fast you can get around, but the zipline ability and then the teleport right back to spawn really calmed me down when I was starting to be like, all right, how long am I gonna have to run? How do I get back? And oh cool, now it hit me right into that flow of like a Kino der Toten map. That's where I really was like, oh, I'm cool, I'm chill here. This isn't Origin size type of map. I'm on board.
It's pretty manageable, honestly, navigating the map. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It fits in that good medium.
Yeah, so when I was making it, I was like, well, I want to make sure at least every area there's at least to get back. So go down the ramp, you can go left or right, go up the ladder. So when you look into those in gameplay design, you want to make sure there's multiple different access points to get to different areas. That's some things in like the modern Treyarch Zombies maps, they're kind of missing that, where it's like Blood of the Dead. When you go trying to get back to spawn, you basically, unless you don't take that teleport, you're just gonna have to run through that gatewalk thing, and then you're gonna get wrecked.
Every time, yeah. I sincerely appreciate you putting in ladder functionality. That was something that I was super ecstatic about, where I'm like, hey, I want to go up this ladder, and as I start climbing, right? Well, inside Treyarch games, it's a mess. Every time I go to a ladder, it never works.
I always walk around the ladder. I always but I never climb up that ladder because I'm like, I'm gonna climb too slow and the zombies are gonna hit me. I'm scared of using the ladder, so I walk around it.
See, I see people having
No.
issues with the ladder. Like I
Oh.
saw Noah J's video where they try to jump on the ladder and they
Yep.
can't go up it. I'm like, what? Why? I literally, at least keyboard and mouse, you can walk up that ladder easily.
Yeah.
But
But
that's
like
because
other people, like
Noah's a bad gamer. He sucks at
the
games.
bad gamer, yeah,
He's
I'll
the
have to
worst gamer
tell
in
him
the
that.
world.
The worst gamer. I'll have
He's
to
the
tell him
worst
that.
gamer ever.
Same with Lex. He was trying to climb up that ladder, and he like they got to the midpoint, and like they get stuck there, and like it wouldn't go up, and they're like freaking out, and they're trying to jump off, and the zombies are coming to kill them. I'm just laughing. It's like, man, I never had any issues when I made sure I put it in there.
So one of the things I know just from talking to you behind the scenes is that this map was a long time coming. So
Yeah.
you've been working on this for 3 years, you said?
3 years,
Yes,
9 months.
3 years and 9 months with tons of setbacks. So the first setback was, you guys probably know, unfortunately, my house burnt down in April of 2017.
Ugh.
So I fortunately I was able from the fire to get the drive back, which I had about at that time I had about a year's worth of work into it. But I was gone for 9 months there, so that set me back 9 months. But during those 9 months, I was planning more features out and everything. I was like,
Sure.
well, when I get my PC back and I'm out of this hotel and something livable when I have my computer built again, I'll get working on these things. And then about March of this year, like I said, I basically had a hard drive crash and I lost the map. Basically I was trying to save the map. I was actually working on the last area before released at that time, right where that window hop is by the MP40. That was the last area I had to finish. And the hard drive crashed, like basically Radiant just like froze, and then I came back and half of the map was deleted. I thought I turned off filters where like you couldn't see structural brushes or detail brushes. And like, oh no, the map just like is gone. I have pictures on my Twitter of it where it's just gone. I was devastated. I was like, and people are like, well, why don't you make backups and stuff? I was very
Thank
naive.
you, Captain
I was
Foresight.
naive. Yeah, it's like I was very naive to doing that. So I was like, my latest backup I had at the time was from December 20th of 2018. So I was like, that was fortunately it wasn't too much different, but I had a lot of the vista, which is outside the map, all those buildings. I had all that done. And then one of the last like mapping decisions is where Ammomatic is, that whole area. Originally it was only supposed to go to where that one switch is, the one of the last switches in the multiplayer area, but I mapped that last area for the last decision, like last ditch mapping effort, basically, if you think about it. But I was like, well, now that I really don't have time constraints here, I was like, well, now I'm really gonna. I was like, what am I gonna tell these people? They're ready to play. I just released the map's trailer, which is already at the time about 100,000 views. All these people are excited, and like now I'm gonna have to come out with the news. I'm gonna have to delay this for who knows how many months. But I was like, this time I'm not gonna put a date down how long this is gonna take. But yeah, basically I had a let's see if you add together about 14 months worth of delays, being the house burning down, and that really set the map back. But I guess
kudos to you though for sticking through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that speaks
there's
some
a lot of
volumes
times
about you.
Yeah, and if that's
Yeah,
not
there's-
a reason for people watching, if that's not a reason enough to go play the map, like like the amount of time and work that's put in, the setbacks, absolutely do play it if you have the opportunity.
Yes, I would. After that, after I lost the map file and I started again, I was on basically, let's see, I'd put in about 8 to 12 hour days worth of mapping to take it back to where it was. And there was days I got beyond unmotivated where I wouldn't work on it for like a week to 3 weeks, but then I'd get like, I'd get that like spurge just to go back on map, and just continue working on it. I mean, I'd be exhausted from school or work, but it's like, I want to get this done with. I had a dream of always releasing a Treyarch quality map. So I was like, I got to finish this. And there's people banking on me. I already invested some of my own money into this to pay some of the people helping me. I got to finish this. I
Oh my
owe it
gosh.
to the people.
I'm so glad you got to do it though, dude. Oh, this is wonderful to hear.
Yeah, at one point I was just like, I have the build before I lost the map. I was like, do I release it? I was like so demotivated. I was like, I'm just gonna release it. I just don't care. But then Greg FPS is like, you should finish it. Come on, who cares how much time it takes? Just finish it. Same with the relaxing end, which I never even told you, but originally this map was created and like, you should do this, was by Laurie, or the relaxing end. So you can thank him. He's the one who told me to do this map back in 2016.
That
after
makes
playing
a lot
my
of
first
sense.
map.
That makes a lot of sense when he was going mod crazy back then.
He's the only one who hasn't played it yet. I've talked to him. He's like, "Oh, we'll get to it," but he's the one's like, "You should do Kowloon. You should do Kowloon." I'm like, "You know what? Fine, I'll do it." He's like, "Do it. You have the ability to do it." I was like, "You know what? I will."
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
he's the one who told me around Christmas of 2016 I started on this. And it took to 2019 to finish it, but that's all right.
Have you read the trailer for this map? I know I linked
I
it to you
saw
when
it in back
showed
in the
up.
day. Actually, I'm almost certain I remember it back in the day because the iconic plane flying over still sticks in my head to this day. That's why this was all like a wave of nostalgia too. Being like, I thought that map came out a long time ago, and then as you've clearly
Dropped in
explained,
March.
yeah,
And it was, I think, is that the was there a trailer from back in 2016 or because I showed the
No.
March trailer.
I had a teaser. I made my own teaser trailer in 18. And then I had a teaser from the trailer in 2016 made by the guys at Motion Arc. They're great. They make great trailers for, the official Treyarch maps and other things. I highly appreciate them doing it with me.
I was going to say, this trailer is as good as a Treyarch trailer.
Yeah, all those ideas actually were curated from me. I came like, all right, this is how I want to put this trailer together. I had this all planned out for about a year. How some shots didn't turn up, but some shots, a lot of that was designed and thought of by me. And there was a lot of, we put, let's say, probably 2-3 weeks worth of shots and filming into that to get to get the perfect angles, to get everything. It was a lot of fun making, a lot of good memories there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. This is how the map first came up on my radar. It was through this trailer that you dropped back in March. And as soon as I saw this, I was incredibly excited because Kowloon is one of my favorite multiplayer maps in Black Ops 1. The campaign mission's such a classic one. Like this, I saw this and I'm like, absolutely, yes.
Yes. Then a lot of people who haven't been here around knows that originally Woods was voiced by James C. Burns himself. He had more lines for my map than he had in the campaign. He recorded, but basically what's unfortunately set that off, that Activision told him, no, you can't do this, was when I ported over, well, a friend of mine ported over the Black Ops 2 view hands from the campaign mission, because that's the ones you play as, is from the Panama mission, the throwback mission in the Black Ops 2 campaign.
Yeah.
But Activision saw that, and they came knocking on his door at 5 a.m. with their lawyers saying, you need to tell him right now to remove this. So at the time, I was going to someone's birthday, and I got a DM from James like, you need to call me quick. I'm like, oh, okay, this is not going good. So I picked up my phone. He's like, yeah, you need to delete every video, everything you have of this, because I wasn't allowed to do this. I'm really sorry that I can't be the voice in your map. So here I am, I'm like 3 hours away from my computer, and I'm way up in northern part of my state. And I'm like, all right, I'll get it done this weekend. Just tell your lawyers and tell them that I'll do it. And I kind of kept it quiet, which was kind of my mistake, but I was protecting James. So I kind of went with, oh yeah, I got cease and desist like he did, but he's the only one that really got in trouble for it, not me. So I kept it quiet. So in return to him being sorry, he sent me a Call the Dead poster signed by everybody, the one he had personally.
Oh,
but yeah, I wrote a lot of the lines he said, and actually I had a community Reddit thread back in 17 where I was like, give me some line ideas for all these things, and he recorded them all. I wish you guys could. You can actually still find one video of it. What's his name? What's that one zombies news channel? I'm blanking on it now.
Kazzabi HQ?
Yeah, he has a video still where there's one of the quotes he recorded for me that's still on there that he's allowed to keep up. But yeah, I had a lot of really cool quotes. Like that Richtofen painting in my map was supposed to say a quote from Woods, him saying like, who the fuck is Richtofen? Who the fuck says Kraut or whatever. I can send you the dialogue, like everything he was supposed to say, so you can read through them. They're pretty funny, a lot of them that came up with.
Please.
And the thing was, like, James really put effort into, like, he said each quote in 3 different ways and everything.
Yeah, that's the process. Awesome. He gave you a professional process.
Yeah, he sent it through Treyarch's sound quality guys, so it sounds like identical to if it was supposed to be in the game. And I had Luna, one of Greg's friends, Lunatic. He was cutting up all the sounds for me and stuff. And he got halfway through it. I mean, one of the funniest quotes was I took a Dempsey quote, and it was one of them like, "I'd rather put my fist to your face," or James said, "I'd rather fist you." It was just so funny the way he said it. like so much emphasis. It was a meme in my community for a while that he's like, I'd rather fist you. He screamed it really
Dude,
loud.
one of the things I was thinking during our conversation today was the fact that you didn't have to deal with the pressure of a publisher to get the game out during your delays. And then you take me down this path where they go and then still mess with this map. They still had to get involved. They still ruined the map. Not ruined it, but like it could have been more. Oh my god!
That got them on. It was the hands that like got them on your radar, and then it was the voices that they were like, "Oh no, can't do that."
Yeah, they saw the hands that I tweeted at James that like, "Oh look, I got your new hands in and stuff," and then that tweet set it off. And like he was really like we had a big conversation. He's like, technically, Activision owns his voice, since his real voice is the same voice as Frank. So I wasn't.
What if you just changed his name, made him?
That's what I said. I said, what if I just like no, because they own my voice. It's kind of dumb. I'm having you record a voice for a character in the game you played, and it just sucked because I had all these amazing lines. Like it would have gave him a huge personality. So in the ending, I was stuck using the blackout quotes and the campaign quotes that I spent hours with the guys in motion art cutting up and by folder categorizing. Okay, so this is the power up quotes. This is this, and I had all that like perfectly done. I could have literally just cut and paste into Black Ops when I had the quotes from James himself. It would have gave my map a lot of like uniqueness to it.
Definitely, that would have been a big way to differentiate your map and set it apart from everything else in the custom mapping world. That sounded wonderful, and that's super frustrating. I can't. That's like WWE level, like The Rock, the character for The Rock. WWE owns that, or any of the characters on there. They're all contractors. So the way they do it is Vince McMahon can own any of those type of identities. So John Cena can't be John Cena, even though that's his freaking name. Like if he ever shows up as John Cena and something else, he has to be different than the character WWE owns of John Cena, even though it's him and his personality. And that stuff is just a hindrance to the creation of art, and that's super frustrating. Or the expression of ideas and your creativity towards this map. It could have been a lot more.
Exactly. It sucked. What, you can continue, sorry.
Oh no, I was just curious. How'd you get James on board like the project? Did you just reach out to him and he was like,
so basically it started out with a tweet. He's like, hey, I'm making this custom zombies map, whatever. He's like, oh nice, whatever. And continue. I was like, what would I do to get you to voice lines through my map? He's like, all right, fine. Whoever we'll run a thing. If you can get $100 donations for Wounded Warrior project, I'll do it. I'll voice the whole character and anything you want. And I put it on Reddit, and we got, surprisingly, you're gonna laugh, like we got $115 worth of donations in an hour. So 115, and he's like, wow, he couldn't believe it. So he's like, all right, fine, let's do this. I'll get it all set up in my studio and we'll record this. And basically he made all these lines, he sent them all over me, just not even cut up. He just read word for word, even categories, like, all right, this is to be the power up quotes, and he would read them. And like it was really cool, some of them, because he'd sound like really toned, and then he'd get into Woods' character screaming, like when Woods is all up in the action, like in the Black Ops 1 campaign. It was really cool to see that. And like it's just a shame you guys will never be able to hear these, because they were amazing. Same with, he was going to get me in contact with the guy who voiced the Weaver, but after that happened, I could have had a custom Weaver and James and Woods quotes. Sucks I couldn't get in contact with Gary Oldman or any of them, but it would have been amazing to have this. It would kept my map. It would put my map above a lot of other maps that have been created in uniqueness, having the actual voice actors on board.
I wonder if time sentiment will change that, and it'll become more lax, and then we might see people that still celebrate the Black Ops series when Call of Duty fades into the back, that the voice actors can have more leeway with doing this stuff, where Activision still has the legality to, come down hard like they did this time, but they will choose not to in the future, because it's not going to be as big a deal in the future for that type of stuff. It's something I hope for, because they gave that wonderful send off for the voice actors for the Tog der Toten map, it'd be nice to see if there could be more really cool things, because this was, I mean, he did it for charity, and then he's doing all kinds of quotes, and this was pro bono, and just doing something for the community to enjoy and have. That's all such a good story.
It was even more of a shame because he made a quote for that our trailer. Like, it was supposed to be like, originally the trailer was supposed to start out with an inner trail cinematic with him talking with holding a commando, and then it was like, we're slaying zombies, and it was going to cut into the trailer, then into the gameplay. It was supposed to be something really cool. I had told him all on the phone how it was designed out and stuff. He's like, you're welcome to the big leagues, kid, and all this other stuff. He was congratulating me and everything. He still doesn't realize this is only on PC, because he said he wished he had an Xbox to play this. I said, well, you have to get a computer together to play this. But it was pretty cool, and just in general, to get him on this project. Like, the fact he actually took time out of his day to do that for me was, I really appreciate that he did that. He still wants to play a playthrough in the map with me on a video call or something.
Yeah,
I gotta get him on there. But I also, for my Easter egg song, I wish Kevin Sherwood wasn't contracted to Treyarch, because he was really, he's like, oh, I would love to write a song for your map, but the guys at We Are the Empty, they're pretty cool guys. They actually let me, my Easter egg song is copyright free, so you could use it in a YouTube video and stuff. But I did
like the Easter egg song. That was good.
Yeah, that song, I knew about it for about 4 to 5 months pre-release. I was like, hey, do you guys have any like good songs? Like, oh, this song's perfect for your map. Listen to it. Let me send it to you. Here's the master copy. I was like, perfect. I'm gonna add this into my map. And those guys, Kenny and them all, we're gonna have a playthrough soon when he flies back to his parents' house. So I'm gonna play with the band through Kowloon. It's gonna be a pretty good time there.
That's terrific.
It's pretty awesome.
For my next project, they said any future projects, if you want a map specific song, they're willing to write one for me. So my next big project's gonna have an exclusive song. I will bring that cat out of the bag.
You're talking about that. That's a good question we hear on the old docket. Now that this has had pretty much, or it has had some really good feedback from the community, you've experienced quite a lot of nice success with this map and positive sentiment. What's next for you on this journey? Are you doing another map, or is this an experience enough to be like 4 years? I'm good. I don't need to jump down this rabbit hole again. Or has it bitten you with like, this was worth it. I'm proud of what I did. I'm going to do something else.
Well, so basically I have a whole storyline written out for these characters. I worked with some guys who wrote the Black Ops 1 marketing campaign for GK Nova back in the day. They helped me write the story out with me. And right now I have a smaller project that's being worked on. I will say it is from Black Ops, but not the Black Ops we know. It's going to be a map pack.
Okay.
But my next big project that is in the line, I will say, let's see, I'm going to put a little hint. Yeah, Step one is to secure the keys.
Oh boy.
Secure the keys. Yes, I have the whole map laid out with some pretty good features. And it's begun development a little bit. And if I get time to finish it and continue, then yes, that will be the next map in the storyline.
Oh, that is a splendid idea if it's the map I think you just hinted at. I think that's something people have been crying for forever.
Highly requested by many people, and I have some pretty good ideas for it. So if I get time to do it, it'll be fun.
I look forward to that.
I have all the features planned out, and this time I'm doing it right. I'm gonna tease it right, do everything right. I had the features, Easter egg, everything's all planned out. I just gotta find the people and the time and the resources to do it.
Just make sure you have a backup system this time.
Yeah, I make sure I'll turn on autosave and stuff, so make sure nothing goes wrong here. I don't need that again.
Yeah,
that sounds exciting, and I wish you the best of luck on that, and I can't wait to see that release and development and teases as it comes along. That's awesome.
Yes. It's going to be great.
I love though how like all these different like pieces of the community have like come together in parts for this. Like you had and it's like you got James Byrne on it. You've got like people from the old GK marketing campaign. Like and you like Kevin Sherwood's out there like, oh, I would have loved to have made something. Like it feels like to me, the people who are like involved in the world of Black Ops are really interested in are really passionate about it,
Yeah.
Yes.
Like there is much about like doing their job as they are also like furthering the community.
It's a shame too that Activision doesn't lean into this, because this is awesome PR for them if they ever, instead of shutting it down, decided, hey, wait a minute, let's put this on a platform and really start pushing it. I know there's a liability issue, and you play that game, right? I mean, if you start making things that are super inappropriate, that's the line. That's why we can't use his voice. You can't use the models. These aren't for you to do, and all that type of stuff. You have an oversight for that. Have somebody, because this could have been a huge win in the community, and they could have turned it into another great point to raise money. They could have been like, well, we raised $115 an hour, and then all of a sudden turned out like, hey, we threw some little things, not even on our time, not on Activision Treyarch time. They were doing this outside, and you were doing it all by yourself. They could have turned it around and been like, look at this new map. A friend of ours, James C. Burns, ended up voicing the map. And you know what? If you want to download this map, consider donating to the vet, and see what that would have done. And people could have easily got behind that, or even COD vets, like they promote for everything. They hide behind that as a great way to be like, hey, at least you're doing something positive inside this very controversial world of the game industry and how they handle things. If Activision Blizzard's recent controversies are any indication of the PR nightmares they're dealing with right now.
It reminds me a bit of when they were shutting down the Holiday album that
then all the voice actors,
they all got in trouble for that.
Everything you make and their tools actually become their property. So like my custom Wonder Weapon, the Nova Gat, actually became their property, which, I mean, if you think about it, kind of sucks. But
yeah,
like, it's not like I'm selling this map to anybody. I did this out of passion on my heart. So, like, and James did it too. It's like, why can't you guys just like let this go? Like, I really wish I worked there just to say, come on, guys, I do this for fun. I'm making this. Yeah. This is for the people to play. You should just let these people enjoy it.
I think that's the line that's the line you draw in the sand, where it's like, are you trying to make money for it? I remember there was a map back in the day where someone was like, you can donate to my PayPal to get the map, or, it's like, I put all this time and I sacrificed all this to get into the map, and just like, you guys need to buy some money to get access to the map. And to me, that's crossing the line, because it's like, these aren't your assets. Calm down. You may have created some assets in there, but this is all Treyarch's end. They invested all this money to create this world and these assets, the engine, everything you can do to make this map. That doesn't take away the effort you put into it, but as soon as you cross that threshold of being like, this is my product and I'm selling it now, that's where I think Activision has the liability to be like, okay, no, you need to stop what you're doing. What you've done here is not. It's basically charity for their game to add more content in a way that would get people more excited to want to buy it. I mean, how many people in chat have said, I would like to go buy a PC right now just to go play this, which means they have to purchase Black Ops 1 because of this labor of love that you've done. So that's the double-edged sword, right?
No doubt. The only reason World at War is still selling today is because it is such an active modding community.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. I had numerous people tell me. I'm buying BO1 and PC, getting a PC just to play your map. Like, it's so surreal to hear that from people. Like, I don't know how to describe that. It's like, wow, just for something I put together, you want to get all of that. Like, I really appreciate the people who came out and said all that to me. That really kept me going to keep making things in general.
That's terrific. And I mean, I remember when I was young and when I saw that World at War on PC had custom mods, that was one of the things that I was immediately obsessed about. And I was like, I need to do anything I can to now get this game for PC, even though I've already bought it on all these other consoles. I got to make sure to get this other experience of zombies, because it was one of the best experiences out there in the sense of it expanded the palette of maps we had available to us at this time. There was only 4 maps released, and that's how maps like You Always Win got so large, because it was just this wonderful time of exploring these very creative takes on Call of Duty Zombies. And I think that really helped grow the labor of love and like the ground up experience when Treyarch didn't have the marketing money, when they couldn't go out there and be like, here's our brand new Zombies experience. For years, they were always the third unwanted child in the Call of Duty franchise until it really hit it big in BO3. And BO4 got that marketing because BO3 was such a success. So it's all in all, I think many people would love to say thank you to you and all the mappers out there that spend all those tireless free hours just so we can load it up, play it one or more times to say, hey, that's fun. I got a lot of enjoyment. Me and my friends played that map, and we got a new memory out of something we really enjoyed. So thank you for the effort you put into this, because creatively, it's so much respect to you for being able to push through this process with all those roadblocks as well.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. The funny thing is, a lot of people, for at least my map, at least they've been playing it like it's an official map. I have people constantly saying, "Oh, let's get in a lobby, let's play Kowloon together." Like, I hope other people can make stuff like that where you can have longevity and replayability. That's what I really emphasize in map creating process. You want to have something that has replayability. Like, these people, some of these guys build lavish maps, but who wants to replay them if it's you have to go through all this stuff and remember all these things to do stuff. Like, you want replayability, and that's what I pushed for in this, and it seems to be working well. I have people playing daily my map, and it's surreal. It really is.
That's super cool. John, do we want to get into topic time, or do you have some more questions you want to hit before we start shifting into topic time?
Before we jump into topic time, I just had one last question I wanted to ask. I'm curious, is there anything that, like, modding, that having created the mods, or I'm sorry, like mapping, having created the map, that, like, you wish other people who play the maps knew?
So
what do the players not realize about map making that you wish they knew? I guess I should rephrase it.
I wish they would know how much, at least my side, how much effort and how many, like, you need to understand there's going to be bugs, there's going to be things that I'm not things, but you need to understand that it's not like I'm spending 10 minutes and giving this to you. There's a lot of things that go in behind, even like the little area you walked into for shooting zombies. That room might have taken 2 weeks to put together, thinking, well, how I want it to lay out, how do I want it to play, and everything. But yeah, that's basically what I wish people would know that goes into things like this. Yeah, just.
We got a comment saying John just likes it because it looks like Die Rise. That's why I was laughing.
Yeah, I'll take that I take it as a credit that it's people say it's the better version of Die Rise. Hey,
it's Die Rise 2, the future, baby.
Die Rise 2, yep, going back in time.
I'd rather play this than Die Rise.
Fuck you.
I won't lie, me too. As much as I like Die Rise.
Well, jumping into this week's topic time, we have a question from Vegan Lizard King, who asks if any of us have seen Joker yet.
Yes.
I have not yet. I'm hoping to see it this week soon, hopefully.
I thought it was excellent. I enjoyed it very much. It's one of those movies that I think it has a very interesting message, and it's a good one to consume. It's something I'm not going to wake up every morning and be like, I'm going to put Joker on today. I probably will never watch that movie again, but I thought it was fine. I did a really good job not glorifying what all the people who are very concerned about the movie would be trying to glorify horrible acts. To me, in my perspective, it didn't do that whatsoever. Did a really good job of addressing a lot of societal issues without being too overt. Like, there in the first couple acts, there's a little bit of it's right on top of you, but then the last act does a really good job of making you enjoy it. So I'm trying to do that, not too spoiler-ish, but it was a well put together movie.
I'm hoping to at some point see it.
Please do, and then we'll do our bonus episode on that.
Yeah, next question comes from Xander Nation. He says, what prerequisites does it take to make a mod or a map, and what tools and languages does it take?
Oh, this is a question for me. It sounds
100%.
Like,
yeah. Some of these questions are for you.
Well, it depends what Call of Duty you're making this on. If you're going to be making on Black Ops 3, you can just head on to the Steam market and grab the tools. And Black Ops 1, you can also, but you have to get Linker Modder, which is the custom or the fan-made tools, I guess you'd say, for the creation of Black Ops 1 maps. And World at War, you have to find them online somewhere. They never actually had. Well, they did have a site that had them up, but I don't actually know what happened to that. But if you want to know scripting languages, it's basically GSC. But now I will say, well, I forgot to add in, there is the creation of Black Ops 2 mod tools coming here soon, and I'll be making one of the first maps for Black Ops 2 also.
Oh.
And I'm one of the alpha testers for that.
Oh.
Coming soon. Hopefully Treyarch doesn't take this down, but I have had a map planned out for that for a while, but that will be coming soon. You'll just need to get the tools for that. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll keep people updated with that.
Absolutely.
Made by a friend of mine. But yeah, there's really isn't any prerequisite. I mean, when I first started making maps, I made a box maps, little square. I mean, I thought it was an achievement to draw a building, but you don't. Anyone can hop into this. It just depends how much dedication and effort you want to put into learning. If you really want to sit down and learn, there's great tutorials on YouTube on how to do certain things. Blackjack Johnny, he's a guy, he's been around for a while. He made great tutorial videos back in World at War, how to make like terrain patches, curve patches, bevels, all of that. I've sat and watched through all his videos, and I'm still learning things till this day. I'm not the best out there. There's a lot of guys who are way above me, but I'm still learning. It's an always learning process that you're going to be going through, I will say.
So the next question also is for you. Dr. Minty says, what's the most annoying feature you come across when making a map or a mod?
Most annoying feature? I don't know what he means by feature, but well,
maybe just something in the mapping process that gets under your skin.
Probably the most tedious thing is actually just making. The hardest thing is actually, I would say, is having the layout. Like, it's nothing harder than making, like, how am I going to lay this out? How am I going to put this together? And then I will say, if you don't have the knowledge of, say, in scripting or something, how exactly, like, you're going to say, well, how exactly am I going to get this in my map? How am I going to find someone to do this for me? Or am I going to have to take up learning scripting myself, which I'm not personally the best scripter, but for mapping wise, I would say the most annoying feature would probably be doing, like, I personally don't like terrain work. It's pretty tedious and just frustrating in general. But I will say layouting or blockouting, I would say blocking the map out would probably be the hardest part, unless you have something to base off, like I did, fortunately.
That makes a lot of sense, too, and it's interesting you bring that up because I feel like so many people who give feedback onto these maps will be like, well, why don't you just do this and put this system in place, or these hallways here, or why couldn't you have done this? But you made a really interesting argument there that if I don't have the capability of doing it, then that poses a whole bunch of problems. That kind of gets into Jason and Treyarch's team when we've talked about them, about their capabilities of scripting. When you start going down that path and conceptualizing a map, you then have to take a step back and be like, do we have the time? Do we have the tools and the effort to even make this possible? Yeah, this is the cooler way, but just logistically, we don't have the time, money, effort, resources, or even the capability, maybe in some cases, to bring this awesome feature to life just because we are constrained by what we can code. This isn't a book. We can't just write whatever we want like we can in, or like authors can in their worlds. We have to deal with the fact that, like, yeah, we all want this, but with the tools we have right now, it's not possible for us to implement a better way of laying out this map that seems right on the head. Seems obvious that would be something really cool for players to enjoy.
Yeah, especially them. They are constructing something on their game. Like, they have the studio, they have all the people, they do have the money and stuff, but they have to question, how they have to push it on the PlayStation, Xbox. I was working it on PC.
That's
I'm building on something they already created. They have to create from scratch and somehow script it in or add it in. Like we have custom features and stuff, like the Nova example, the Nova Gap for me, but that was interesting to add in. But the Nova Gap, fortunately, is just based off my scripter re-scripted it based off the Wavegun script, so it works just like the Wavegun. So some things that Treyarch already made, we're able to use, like the death animations that was used from the campaign mission when you start out and you shoot those canisters. So fortunately, some things had what they already created. I could use to my advantage, where they have to start from scratch. They have to pay the animator, they have to pay the scripter, they have to pay the UI designer or anything. I can use whatever they had. So
it makes perfect sense, man. And that just reinforces how difficult it must be to go to the well 40 plus times when you start talking about all the zombie maps ever released, where they got to reinvent the wheel here, when it's just like, how many times have we already done this? How can we even have that power and effort left when we only have 4 months to completely redesign something from the ground up? That's got to be one of the hardest things to do, I imagine, I'm guessing here, in the gaming industry, is when you finally work so hard to create assets that you have to keep just like all right, start from scratch, almost like a comedy 1 hour bit. You know how comedians would like to say, like every year, George Carlin was famous for this. He'd take an hour of stand up and he'd throw it all away. Some would work on their act for years and years and never change it. But he was a guy that almost every year routinely would change what he was talking about, and that made him an absolute legend. That seems extremely difficult in the gaming industry based on all the remakes, remasters, and reallocation of assets we see throughout the gaming industry.
Yeah, they have the hardest part in making something original. That was something too. I was like, I want to make something. Well, at least from my Easter egg standpoint, let's say I wanted something that's going to be different. And I sit here, like, wait, Treyarch already does something.
Right.
But like, and I think through their eyes, like, oh, they have to each map installment. Oh, I want to make something original. But like, look at the Toten's ending, where people are complaining, oh, we've seen this already in an Easter egg and stuff. It's like you got people need to understand. There gets to a point where they're hitting a peak where how can we make something original, different from these other Easter eggs?
Yeah, especially when each of the steps in the Easter eggs have anywhere from like 8 to 16, maybe even 20 steps, depending on what you consider a step is. It's like, we've done this now hundreds of times of hundreds of different unique steps. How do we create something original at this point? Like when people complained about the soul chest, it's like, oh, it's another soul chest quest. It's just like, I mean, what's left? Exactly. They did a permutation on a soul chest quest. And it's like, you really going to fault them on that?
Exactly.
All right, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Next one. Kingdom Hop says, what do you think of the new Dead of the Night jump scare that's been found? It's really unique because he uses a 3D model instead of a 2D image. It's trippy.
Yeah, it's cool. It was really cool. I'm glad they figured it out. Was it the killing of the Nosferatu red version in front of it? Or was there more to it? Because I remember that was the initial trigger. They thought they killed it with Alistair's Foley right outside it, and that caused it to trigger when they were staring at it. I thought it was cool.
I'm not sure exactly what the trigger was. I was watching Greg FPS's video, but I was watching it without sound. So he was just shooting the Alistair Foley at the painting, and then it happened. But I'm not sure if there was a trigger.
Then it might just be that.
I like the implementation of 3D model for a jump scare. I think that's pretty cool, opposed to just a 2D material like a lot of scares. I really think on their part.
Completely agree.
Well, most of them are just flashing an image on the screen.
Yeah, just they put a timer of the material. Basically, that's all it is. I originally wanted to put a jump scare in my map, but I couldn't think of anything.
Well, at least it wasn't last gen Richtofen. That's what.
No last gen Richtofen. Yep.
That definitely gutted my spirits pretty quickly on Classified.
All right, last one. Captain Murphy says, question for you, Andy. Moon was originally meant to be Paris, but they changed the assets last minute and it became Moon. Would you have any interest in making a Paris map for BO3 using the same layout as Moon, so we could finally have this lost/abandoned map?
For BO3, Well, I will
BO1.
BO1, but
yeah.
BO3, BO1. Someday Kowloon will go on. Someday Kowloon will go on BO3, and I'll port it over there. But for BO1, I actually do have assets from the original layout of Moon. I have textures that said quarantine. I can show you guys sometimes where it was from the cut map. But I mean, if you want to play a Paris map, you can play Parish. That's already been created by Hitman Veer and them. But maybe someday it actually be interesting to take my own BO1 take. I know theirs was very custom, where they had a big boss fight against the Origin robot and all that. I mean, I'd be down to making something more to where it was supposed to be a Black Ops 1 implementation of something.
Cool.
I mean,
yeah.
That'll wrap it up for topic time. Thanks to everybody who dropped in.
Yeah, let me hit on the donations today. As I load that up. Stan asked about how do you enable double pap? Is that a joke? That one seemed innocent enough. Is that a thing, or is that a secret you've kept close to your chest? Is that an unsolved Easter egg?
Wait, was it how do I enable double pap?
Double pap on Kowloon.
That's a joke in my joke in my community.
Good joke. That's a good one. All right.
Good job, Gabriel.
Yep. Chroma became a member, so thank you. Mr. Drown sent his donation. Said, stay cool, stay safe, and have a good day, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Mr. Drown. David Kirk donated and says, seeing this map is making me tempted to get this on PC. Such a shame about the voice acting. Any movement on a zombies mod? On a zombroz mod? Any movement on the zombroz mod? No, definitely not.
There has not been any movement.
Someday. John was really excited about that, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to
Zombroz mob.
Yeah, he wanted to make a Zombroz
I
map.
wanted to make a zombroz map that was like designed by the people who watch the show, but I just never got around to rolling that ball.
Yeah.
We can get that going.
I mean,
We
it could be super simple. Like, it could be something that is more a meme joke than a
Or just get to a
4-year
box map.
method. Yeah, a box map would definitely be much better than something of
Alright.
Kowloon's caliber.
Yeah.
We're doing Kowloon 2.
Nope.
The zombroz experience.
No, we're not.
Challenge him.
Oh, you know what would actually be funny is if we just took the Kowloon map and we just retextured everything with the dumbass Zombroz like logo, and it
Get
just
their
covered
logo on
everything. It just covered everything, and nothing's changed
That could-
except the textures are just refilled with the Zombroz logo and this shameless, shitty rendition of a Zombroz map.
I actually could be done with in like about a minute. All I got to do is Control I all on the map and then click one texture and the whole map would be
Oh
retextured to
my
that.
god, that's so cheese.
The potential.
Oh my
If you
god.
want to do that, we could.
Oh.
I'll give you the map.
Oh my god. I don't want to do a disservice to the Kowloon map. All right. I feel like it will go down in value if there's this other knockoff Zombroz map.
You got the zombroz version, and then we sell the zombroz version. So you got to pay $50.
You can gain access through our Patreon as we shill out a shitty, inferior version. Oh god. All right, Stan, thanks for the donation. Clamit, thanks for the donation. I literally bought a BO1 PC just for playing Kowloon LMAO. That's awesome. And I believe
good.
that catches up everybody for the donations this week. So thank you all for your kind donations and supporting the show.
Yeah, thank you.
So that is going to wrap us up. Make sure you check us out on Spotify and iTunes. I want to thank Andy for coming on the show and telling us all about his wonderful map. This was a awesome conversation. I think a lot of viewers will appreciate the deep dive look into what it takes to build a map, some of the stuff behind the scenes, some of the barriers and obstacles you need to be able to overcome. Not necessarily the exact same ones as you, but there's always going to be barriers and obstacles to creating a map, and how perseverance, even if you're not the best coder in the world, can produce a product that's absolutely fabulous and that people can really enjoy inside our community. So I think this was a terrific podcast. So thank you so much for coming on, Andy.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Yes.
And till we see you next Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm Ross27. That's Giant J25. Be safe till we see you next on the next episode of Zombroz. Bye now.